Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Fikri Bin Hisham-muddin, metric number 2112011. I'm from group Nkrypted. So first of all, our group is about assassination of Tan Sri Johan Sina. Alright, this is an overview of our case. So the introduction is a well-known politician named Tan Sri Johan Sina was assassinated during his speech on 9 May 2021 at Bukit Bintang, Kuala Lumpur. The report was made right after the assassination. The police investigated and checked a few targeted CCTVs that are not located not far from the MACD Bukit Bintang. After further investigation, they found that it was the work of the few members from the reformist group. Fortunately, the ambush of the suspect gathering place was a success, and it has led to more new evidence, as they have suspected that this assassination was planned since the year before. There are a few devices, such as laptops and phones, that have a few suspicious files named Smiling Heaven. Based on further research and investigation, it has led to the discovery of the assassin's whereabouts and transaction details. Alright, so these are all our evidences. There are 6 evidence, which is first we have this encrypted name file, compressed file, and then we have cochain.bitmap, the EH3 bitmap, tree code, vam, cat, and lastly nothing.mp3. Alright, so this is the white hat methodology, which is we finding the evidences from the reformist group. Alright, so first this is evidence 1, which is as you can see, the name here is xvyy something .zip. So first of all, what we did was to copy the name of the zip file, open the rot13.com, stick to the rot13 option from the drop down menu, paste the encrypted name into the text box, and lastly the result will be displayed. So as you can see here in our result, when after we have decrypt using rot13, we have found that the evidence is kill Johan Sina. And then the next evidence is cochain.bitmap. So first of all, when we looked into the picture, it seems like it has nothing to do with the assassination. But when we have taken a look at it, we have found there are many there are few evidences that we have found. So first of all, we need to open the image of this picture into the quick steganography, and then we have found that there is a long text message is displayed, and then what we did was we paste the long text into the encoded into the decoder of spam mimic tool. So after we have decoded, we have found that as you can see here, which is the timeline, I mean the settings for the assassination, which is 9 May of 2021 in local time, which is in 11:30 AM at Pavilion, and the target was in his blue suit.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hariz bin Sidi, metric number 2115575. So I'm going to explain on the part that I do, which is the evidence 3 and evidence 4. For evidence 3, the h3.bmp. First, I open the S tools and I drag the file that I choose, which is the h3.bmp file, on the S tool page, and enter password and choose this encryption algorithm. After the reveal archive, which is the treecode.txt file that has been revealed, I copy the Morse code and open the Morse code translator to translate the Morse code, and the result is avoid contact and harm to other civilians, make it clean, reward 2 bitcoins. The message is about the reward around 125,000 from the one who planned the assassination to the assassin hired to take the job, and the warnings to him. For evidence 4, which is vam.pptx. On every page of the pptx file, I try to select all, which is by Ctrl A button to see every details on the slide. And the reveal message, I copy it, which is hiding in the white space, and it found out it is in base 64. I open the base 64 tools and paste the message, click decode, and wait for the translation of the hidden message. And the result of it, which is the weapon P1911, body armor level 3, A soft armor, low profile vest. Warning, be careful of bodyguards that always taking with him around. The message is about how the assassination to be done and to prepare of unexpected situations.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Arif. I'm here to present the decrypting method for evidence 5 and evidence 6. So for evidence 5, which is the cat.bmp, we need to open up the quick stego and then open the image, and then we can see that it gives us an image of an animal. And then there's a text hidden inside it, which it looks like to be a Morse code. So just to be sure, we need to decode that Morse code using a translator. So just open up a Morse code translator and paste the Morse code into the input box, and then we can get the message. From the message, we can infer that it might be a date as well as a code or a name. And looking back at the case, we can conclude that it is the date as well as the location of where and when the location has occurred. The assassination has occurred, which is the 9th of May 2021, Bukit Bintang, Kuala Lumpur. Right. So that is for evidence 5, and now let's move on to evidence 6. So here it is an MP3 file called nothing. So when listening to the file, it seems to be a Morse code as well. So since it is an MP3 file, we need to decode it using an audio decoder. So we just open up the Morse code adaptive audio decoder and upload that file, and then we hit play. And after it translates the MP3 into a message, we can see that it is a combination of letters, right? So just to be sure, it might be a ROT encryption. So we just copy that message and put it into a ROT cipher. See? So we put it into the rotted text on the top right, and then we hit decrypt, the brute force underneath the brute force heading. So then it gives us a few results on the left, as we can see, and then we need to find a message that we can read, which is the ROT 21 over here, which says new contract KFC Times Square 9 p.m. 7th June 2020. So here we can infer that it is when and where they got the assassination contract, which was a year before the assassination has occurred, right? And that is all for me. Thank you.
Alright, so now we move on to the black hat methodology, which how we created the evidences. So what we did was we opened the rot13.com and then we stick to the rot13 option from this drop down menu, and then we type the message which is kill Johan Sina, and then after we have got the encrypted name, then we put into the zip file, which is the compressed file. And then the second one, the second evidence, which is kucing.bitmap. So first of all, we type all the settings into the spam mimic, and then we encode it to get all the encrypted message. So technically we decoded we encoded the message into this hard hard to understand, which is the encrypted the encoded form. So technically, we cannot understand what the message is, and then after we have got the encoded message, we put the message into the cat picture right here, using steganography tool. And then after we have put, we save the image, and then we send it to the intended person.
So on how I create the evidence tree, which is the h3.bmp. First, I write the message as input in the Morse code translator and translate it to the Morse code. I open the text file and paste the Morse code, and I save the text file in 3 code rebuild. Next, I open the h3.bmp on the S tools and I drag the txt file that contains the hidden message on top of the image. I create a password and choose the algorithm desk type, and the password is secret123. I save the hidden file with bmp type. For evidence 4, which is the vem.pptx, first open the base64 tools and type the message and click on encode. Copy the message that have been encoded. Next is I open the Microsoft Office file, the pptx file, and find any white space on random page of the file and put the encode text and make it invisible color. In this page, I choose white color so that it could be hidden in the page.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Arif and I'll be presenting about the encrypting method for evidence 5 and evidence 6. So evidence 5, which is the cat.bmp, we just need to first open up the Morse code translator, and then we put the message into the input box, and then we can get the Morse code. So after that, we can just copy that Morse code and we can move on to the next step. So here, we just need to find an image, and then we open up the quick stego and open up that image, right? And then we can paste the Morse code that we've just copied into that text box on its right, and then we can click hide text to hide the text into that image, right? And then we click save image, right? And that is for evidence 5, and let us move on to evidence 6. So here, evidence 6, which is the nothing.mp3, first we just need to open rot13.com, and then we can put the message into the top box, right? And then we choose the rot21 option from that second box, from the drop down box, and then it'll convert the message that we've just put into a combination of letters, as what it seems, right? And then we can just copy that, and then we can move on to the next step. So here we just need to open the Morse code translator and paste the message that we've just copied into the input box, and then it'll convert the message into a Morse code. So up here we can just download it, and then we can rename it as an mp3 file. That is all for me. Thank you.